For the past couple of years, some of the most popular classes at IFC have been taught by Frank and Elaine Sommerville. They are legal and ministry experts, and they join us today from their office in Arlington, Texas. Why don't you guys start off by telling us a little bit about how you met and why you decided to work together?
Thank you for inviting us to the Shelby Conference. We enjoy doing that. I'm a lawyer and Elaine is a CPA, and we met through professional conferences and joint clients. We enjoyed working together, and so we got to know each other through those contacts.
Why don't each of you take just a minute and tell us what you do and what your goals are in helping ministries?
Predominantly, I'm a tax consultant. And so we work heavily in the arenas of IRS and state consultations and compliance efforts for ministries and churches.
But I practice law, and so I provide legal advice to churches and ministries of all faiths and all across the country. My goal in doing this is to assist them in avoiding litigation and serving the Lord with excellence.
So how many years is it that you've been teaching at ISC, and what classes are you going to be teaching at this year's conference?
This will be our third year. This year, I know I'm teaching a class on benevolence and proper procedures and accounting for it and some of the compliance rules. Then I'm teaching a minister's tax session on all the special rules with ministers. And then I'm teaching a 2-part church tax series that just goes over all types of different taxes for churches and how to comply. And then Frank and I teach a combined tax and legal update that we do together. And so Frank, what are you teaching?
I'm going to also be teaching a class on crisis management whenever something happens at church that you unexpected, whether it's a tragedy like a bus crash or allegations of sexual misconduct. How do you respond to that appropriately and godlike? I'm also going to be teaching about human resources, policies, and procedures. And then we're also going to do a session on how you can avoid problems in the hiring process, because we don't want people to mess up in hiring new people.
What would you say is your favorite class that you teach at ISC, and what makes it your favorite?
The tax and legal update that we do together is always a fun class because it's just a hodgepodge of whatever's come out this year. And so what we try to do is just hit the hot spots, and then it is always a lively discussion. And it's always a lively discussion between Frank and I because we don't always see things the exact same way, and the participants always enjoy that.
We're not there to belittle anybody. We're there to help them and provide information that is accurate so that they can carry it back to their church or ministry and incorporate excellence.
I know that both of you write for a number of publications, including Christianity Today and Thomson Reuters. What kinds of things do you discuss in those publications? And can you also tell us a little bit about your blogs?
Frank is an ardent writer for many magazines, and then we had the privilege of assisting Thomson Reuters, which is a major publisher of professional materials. And then outside of that, which is kind of a regular publication, we are also contributing authors to kind of Ask the Expert panel with Christianity Today. So people can write in and say, this is my question, and then they kind of funnel it out to different experts, and so we contribute to that. Frank, what are other magazines that you write for?
Well, I've written for many different church-related magazines, Jewish Church Magazine, for example. All of this is related to legal and tax issues. So what we try to do is, through our writing, including our blogs, is share what we know with the broader audience. So we want to share what we have learned so other people can apply it.
We do have blogs. Mine is elainesomerville.blogspot.com. So while I'm not the best consistent blogger, we do have some good information out there.
If you could offer just one piece of advice to a ministry or nonprofit organization, what would you tell them?
My one piece of advice would be to realize how regulated this community really is, and to think about that before you actually go in and do something. And too many times in the church world, we just plow right into things, and then all of a sudden we think, oh, well, maybe we were supposed to look at the rules. So my piece of advice would be find out what the rules are first, and then plow into something.
You two are in a really unique situation. Both of you are married, you work together. How are you able to get along for that many hours during the day? Is there something you could pass along to people who might be in the same situation?
I would say that we have similar philosophies in how we see things and how we interpret things. Now, that's not all means we always agree. In fact, everybody in this office would tell you it's not unusual for Frank and Elaine to disagree with each other and kind of duke it out. But one of the things that happens when we disagree is it drives us back to the book, so to speak. And honestly, that makes me a better professional.
I agree with her. It's a phenomenal relationship. I love being with her 24/7. But I think, even when we disagree, we treat each other with the utmost honor and respect.
Well, Frank and Elaine, it's just been wonderful getting to know you today. You seem like a real fun couple. We're looking forward to seeing you again this year at ISC in Dallas, Texas. Anything else you'd like to tell us before we wrap things up?
Every church has two foundations. They have a spiritual foundation, which their ministers are given charge to protect, and they have a business foundation. And as with any house, a crack in either foundation can cause the house to fall. And so what I always say to my participants at Shelby, to encourage them, because sometimes they're not in the most appreciated positions, I always tell them, your job is to protect that business foundation. And that is so crucial to the protection of the church. You just need to know how valuable you are.
I want them to be encouraged to come to our sessions. What you're going to find is not typical legalese or taxese or accountingese. It is speaking the language of church, but addressing these legal and tax issues. And so we are so excited to see everybody there. Many times we run into old friends, so we're happy to see them again and visit. And we just look forward to seeing everyone when they come to Dallas.